Hello everybody, welcome to Island Grove Studios live stream for the production of our short film Roland. Today what we're going to be doing is attempting to get a hole-in-one in Blender using physics simulations. So I'll show you. This is the little teaser that I posted earlier before the stream. Today, what we're going to be doing is taking our 3D scan, the retopologized 3D scan that we made last time, and we're going to take the mini golf club that we used last time, in the very first stream that we modeled, and we're going to simulate the ball going down the hole, one of the different holes than this one, down the hole, into the hole, and then we'll pan to camera, like in this teaser trailer, for a hole-in-one render. So we're going to try and see if we can do that. And then, so the whole reason behind this method is I'm going to use this for some of the shots in the movie. I'm going to have the camera for some of the shots, instead of animating the ball going down the hole manually, maybe there's a good situation where I can just smack a ball down the hole and see what happens, and see if there's some cool shots that come out of it. So here we go, let's check it out. I'm going to pull up Blender first. All right, here we go. So this is the hole that we did the first time, this is the hole that I showed in the trailer just now. You see the ball goes up. Let me close this. You see the ball went up here, down to the right. One second. Close the screen too. Okay. So the ball went up here and then hit this rock, came down here. I don't have the that file open. Maybe I'll show it at the end, but so let's pick a hole that we want to do, and then we'll import our golf club, and then we'll import a well, I guess we'll just make a sphere for the ball. We don't need to import a ball. So let's not do this hole, obviously, because we did this one already in the trailer. Change the music. See if we could do this one. It's a little bit more straightforward. Put the hole somewhere over here. There's a kind of like a bank that goes over here, so it could be cool to have it go up this way. Maybe let's hole number one. This one has a bit of a curve. That's cool. It'd be cool if we could do the log. Maybe in a different, when we're working on a shot for the movie we'll do that. But for right now, we'll just stick to a regular mini golf hole. 3 was the one we did at the beginning. Let's see this one. Oh, keep forgetting the eyeball. This one could be cool. It's kind of like got a jump, but it's kind of got a dip there. I don't think that one would be too good for this. This one's pretty simple. No, I think we should do hole number 2. Oh, that one's pretty good. And then this one, oh, that one's super long, but that one's kind of just straight. So let's do hole number 2, because it has this cool little bank, so it'd be fun to have it slide over. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna hide the reference topology and the curve because we don't need those. And then now what I'm going to do is import our golf club. Actually, first thing I'll do is save as and rename this. Save it as something else, because I'm going to, hopefully it doesn't crash. I'm going to call this physics. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to call it hole-in-one, because we're going to get a hole-in-one. I can feel it. Okay. So I'm going to import or append our mini golf club. golf club, object, mini golf club. So now if I hit period, you can see our golf club here. I'm gonna make it the other way so it's a righty, because I'm a righty. So I'll rotate it around, and then actually I'm not gonna do the I'm not gonna do the rotation. I'm not gonna apply that. So then what we have to do is bring in a ball. I'm gonna bring in a timeline section down here, so we're gonna need that later for animating the club. And I'm gonna bring this back a bit and create a sphere for a ball. We know that a mini golf ball is 0.14 feet, which is an inch and a little over inch and a half. Okay, it's okay that it's floating in there in the air for now, because we're going to, I'm going to hide the floor, and I'm going to hide these, because when I simulate the ball, it's going to drop a bit and then the club will hit it. So next thing we need to do is animate the club, because when we apply the physics to these objects, the ball will drop and then the club will come in, and then I'll animate it swinging, and the swinging animation will drive the force of the ball being hit. So first thing we need to do is animate the club. So I'm going to bring the origin right now. If you see, if we rotate this, it's rotating from the head of the golf club rather than the shaft or the handle. So I'm going to go into edit mode and select this ring here and bring my cursor to that, go out of edit mode and go to set origin to 3D cursor. Now when I rotate the mini golf club, it's like someone's holding it up there. In reality, maybe it's down here. There we go, something like that. So now when we swing the club, I want to bring it down to the ground level, but not enough so it's poking through, like that. Now when we swing, it won't clip the ground at all because it's on this pendulum swing. So first thing we want to do is set a keyframe. I'm going to go ahead in the timeline 30 frames. Then I'm going to set a rotation keyframe on frame 30, and we can tweak the timing of it as we go, but for now I'm just going to do 5 frames ahead, rotate it back, insert another rotation keyframe, go another 5 frames ahead, and swing it forward, follow through, and then set another rotation. So if we play this back, it's just this little animation. The length, the distance of these keyframes depends, is that is what drives the force. So if we space these out more and it's a bit slower, it's going to make the ball travel less distance because it's a slower swing. Just like if you were to swing slower in real life, it would just travel however fast this object is moving. So we'll tweak that as we go. Things that we will tweak in order to get it in the direction in the hole, because we're going to do a whole bunch of different simulations. It's going to take multiple tries. We'll see how many tries it takes. We're going to hit it. It's the rotation of the club, the friction of the ground, the friction of the bounce of the bricks, the friction of the ball, as well as bounciness and all these other factors. So it's going to be a lot of tweaking. I have some settings that I've in that teaser trailer or whatever on the social post. I have some settings that I use for that I can manipulate or use for this, but it's still a lot of tweaking. So those are all the factors that go into how we're going to get it in the hole, and obviously rotating the club so it hits off the rock wall at a different angle, blah blah blah. So we have the club right now going 5 frames back and 5 frames ahead. I'm gonna bring this up a bit and go into my graph editor because I want to make this a little bit nicer. I want to delete the Z keyframes. Oops. And I don't really need X either, even though it's doing something. I'm just going to delete it just for simplicity's sake. Now, I'm going to make these 6 frames instead of, so 6 and 6. Let's see this. Now, if we take all of these points, these handles, and scale them, you'll see that how it affects the arc. You see it's a little bit ease in, ease out. And if we really crank this middle one, you'll see it hangs and then hits. I mean, I'm not going crazy with the animation here. I'm just trying to make it pretty nice. I'll copy this keyframe. Oops. Kind of have it hang a little bit longer in the backswing. Maybe if I was feeling a little nutty, bring it down a bit. So it's got a little bit of a ease out or whatever. So it kind of goes up and then it goes up a little bit more, or, well, actually it's this one and then it goes down. No, that's not what I want. I want it this way. No, whatever, doesn't matter. Cool. And then I might bring this one out a little bit. The distance between here and here isn't as great as here and here, so I might bring this one out to 45. A little slow. Okay, it's pretty good. All right, now we have the club, and I'm actually gonna bring it out like that and out like this. Even tweaking this handle just this much affects the simulation so much. It's crazy. You'll see. It's nuts how one little tweak of the handle affects it so much. All right, good enough. So we have our animation. Next thing we want to animate is the club coming in, like location wise, because sometimes the ball will land and the proximity to the club will mess it up as it lands. So we're going to have it go on frame 28. On frame 30, I'm going to set a location keyframe. So if I toggle this down, you'll see now I have my X rotation and my locations. And I'll go back 2 frames and freeze it, and then go back and just bring it up and out, just like that. So now if we play from the beginning, it starts out here and pauses for a bit. Club right now is a little, it's kind of a, should be like this. It doesn't matter because I didn't keyframe the Z, so it doesn't matter. It'll just stay where it's at. Cool. So now it comes in. I guess we can move it over a little bit. Doesn't really matter. This comes in and then it swings and it'll hit it. Everyone following along so far? If you have any questions, let me know. Put it in the chat. So we have the club coming in. That means I want the ball to land right around here. But when it hits the ground, it'll hit the ground here and it'll be placed right where the ball should be hit, right there. But we'll put it up in the air a bit. Okay. Sweet. think it's time to get to simulating some stuff. So now what I want to do is make sure that everything that I'm setting to simulate is at everything I'm simulating is scaled to 1, because if anything is off scale, if anything is not scaled to 1, it'll mess it up. So we want to make sure everything's to scale. Like for instance, the ball I know is not to scale, it's at 0.07. So apply the scale for that. I think this one's good too. Yep, this one's good. Rotation doesn't matter, location's fine. Ball 1, ground 1, bricks are 1, ball, okay, club. Sweet. Now here's the fun part. Actually, first things first. I keep saying first things first, even though I've already said that. Second things second, whatever. We need to make the hole, because what we're not going to do is we're not going to simulate the ball going down and landing here and then put the ball there and then cheat it that way. We're not cheating it. We're going to do it for real. So I'm going to go into top view mode and pick, I want to try to get a hole in one. So if it's going to go up this bank, it's going to come down here, maybe hit the wall. So like maybe if it comes down here, hits the wall, I'll put it like right here. Okay. Let's try this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a rough, I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm just going to inset it again, and then make it kind of square. I'm not going to go crazy. Okay, I'll inset this one and then extrude it down some more. Well, first I want to make sure it's the size of a, I want to make the real size of a golf ball, because imagine that I was like, all right guys, we're gonna simulate a hole in one, and then we make the hole this big. That would also be a cheat. So we're gonna make it the size of a mini golf hole, which I think is 2 ball lengths. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 2 balls next to each other. It's kind of like how big a golf hole is. So they fit next to each other if 2 people get in at the same time. What I will do is leave it like this, and then once it goes in, I will then apply subdivision surface, so it's an actual round hole. But I don't think that's cheating. It's still in this vicinity, which it will go in the hole anyway, so I think that's fine. So I will delete the subdivision surface for now, and I'll delete our extra sphere for reference and bring it back to where our club is, which is 30. 30 is our home base frame. That's where we know the club is still and the ball will be landed right here. Okay, so far so good. Hey Rachel. Hey Max. Can everybody hear me okay? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. And if all the music is too loud or anything like that. Okay. Here comes the fun stuff. Now we're gonna get to simulating. So for the ball, we'll make sure 1, scale of 1, scale of 1, scale of 1. Okay, we're gonna start with the, we're saving our progress because we don't want it to crash like the first one. So So we're gonna make simulation. Can hear you great. Awesome. Okay. So we'll start with the ground plane. We'll select the ground. We'll put these in we'll choose collection so I can bring this up here. I'm gonna select the ground plane, go into our physics tab, go to rigid body, passive. Having it an active object will make it react to things. Like the ball will be active, but if we want it to just be like a collider, it's a passive. So it's a passive rigid body type, and then we're gonna select mesh and final because it has a slope. So if we use a convex hull, it will not be, the ball won't react to the ground correctly because it's got some curvature to it. It's got a box around it instead of the actual mesh. So we need to select the mesh for the ground. Surface response, we want the friction to be 0.2 for now, and bounciness, nothing. No, I mean, it's a little bouncy, but 0.05 when you bounce a ball off the grass, it bounces a little bit. And then sensitivity margin, we want 0.01. Just because when the ground hits the ball hits the ground, we want it to not be a huge margin of error. So that's pretty good. And I think for now, that's pretty good. So now the ball, we'll select rigid body active. And then we know a weight of a ball is 0.1 of a pound. A sphere collision shape, friction of 0.1 because it's a pretty smooth and slippery surface, a golf ball. It's very shiny and smooth, so it's 0.1 friction, bounciness of 0.2, we'll say for now. And then here's another thing we want to mess with later, but for now we'll just keep it at the default and we'll see what happens. So now, if we go back to frame 30, we hit play, the ball will just hit and land on the ground. If we didn't have the collision, the rigid body on the ground, it would just fall through the ground. See? And it'll literally fall to forever. But that's why we have the rigid body passive. Oh, I need to redo that. Passive, mesh, final, 0.2 and 0.05 and 0.01. Sorry. Okay. Save. Now we have that as 0.1, dynamic sphere, 0.1, 0.2, and then we'll mess with that and then play. Okay. Now we want to take the club. Oh, actually, yeah, we'll do the bricks at the last part. Take the club. We'll go to rigid body, active as well because it's acting on the ball, so it's active object. We'll leave it. It's about 2 pounds, a golf club, give or take. We'll leave all this stuff for now and see what happens. So if we go back and hit play. Oh, so that's hilarious. I totally genuinely forgot about this part. So if we literally hit play, it's not going to be, nothing of our animation is going to make sense. It's literally going to fall on the ground. How hilarious is that? Good job, guys. We did it. Hole in one. What we have to do is select animated. Now it's going to take our keyframe animation and it should work. So here we go. Let's try it. Snap. It freaking flew it out of here. See you later. Okay, so pretty good off the bat. I mean, it's super strong. So we're gonna change that. So one of the things I was talking about down here is the dampening of the translation and dampening of the rotation. I don't know if it's dampening the rotation or it's dampening translation and rotation dynamics. So if we have this ball simulated, just as it is, it's the weight and the force of the object is just going to translate forever. There's no fall off. So, well, there's gravity and stuff, but that's why it falls to the ground or to beyond. So if we dampen the translation to something like, it's right at now at 0.04, if we dampen it to like 0.2 and the rotation up as well, and now we try it, it still smacks it out of here. Let's try even more. What we can also do is do what I said before of taking these keyframes, spacing them out so the force is less. It's more so the space between these two, because the backswing isn't providing any force on the ball. It's just for animation's sake for how it looks, but it's just the space between these. The space between these keyframes and also this curve. The ease in and ease out of the smacking of the ball matters a lot, and you'll see why in a second. So let's see how that looks. We have to go into timeline. A little better. Oh snap, like bounced right over the brick. Doink. Okay. So now if we, well, let's take friction 0.3, oops. Ball, friction, it's 2.2 on the ball. Okay. Now what I want to do actually is, in order to, so right now the ball, or the club rather, is perfectly aligned, but if I wanted to, I don't want to mess with the rotation. Actually, I can't because I didn't keyframe it, so I can just go like that, I guess, with the location. So I don't want to mess with that because I have the location keyframed. I don't, when I realign it, if I want to rotate it a little bit, but then I have to move it. I don't want to have to keyframe everything. So what I'm going to do is snap my cursor to the club and create a new empty. And this will be driving the rotation of the club. So if I select the club, select the empty, good Lord. And then I hit Control P. Oh my goodness. Control P to parent to the object. Now I can grab the empty and move it around and select and move the golf club without messing with the keyframes of the club. And I did it at frame 30 because it animates coming in, but I would only do it. I would do it from our master, our home base frame. Save our progress. Okay. Now, so at frame 30, I'm going to rotate it. So it's going right now, it's going straight down the hole. It's falling off. So I'm going to have it go to the right a bit. And I'll reframe it so this is what I was talking about with the translation, because now I have to move it over here so it's aligned with the ball. Now let's try and simulate this, see where it goes. Hey, now it's going down the hole, down the bank. It's turning left a bit. Nice. but then it just falls off into infinity because right now we don't have the bricks as a collider object. But that's good. That's really good. So, fantastic. Now we'll go back to frame 1, select our bricks, and do the same thing. We're going to go to our physics tab, rigid body, passive, also mesh, final. I'm not sure what final, base, and deform does. I'm not sure about that yet. I'll do the same thing as the ground, which I think was 0.2 on both. Oh no, the rock is a lot bouncier than the grass or the turf, so I'm gonna do bounciness higher and friction lower. Because turf is higher friction, less bounciness, and a rock is less friction, higher bounce. So save. And also a margin of 0.01 because when it hits the wall, we want it to be close to the wall. Save. Good so far? All right, let's see how it works. Okay, hits the wall, but it just crashed there. And I think these have, I think the subdivision is messing with it a bit, so I'm going to turn it down for now. I think it's making it slower. Okay, so good, it's colliding, but it's just being stuck. I think it's because it hits this curve right in this corner, so it gets sucked into this corner a bit, so it takes a left. If we aim a little bit to the left and it hits right here, hopefully it'll go in this direction. Let's see what happens. Go into top view mode, go to our home base frame 30, aim a little bit left, bring it over here. Yeah, see if this works. I'm gonna bring this down a bit so we can see a little bit better. Okay. Oh, I have to go back to frame 1. All right, it goes left, but it's still just getting clung to the wall. So this is where the fiddling starts. This is where the little tinkering of these things are. Sometimes it takes forever to figure out the settings. Friction. Sometimes just doing these a little bit makes a huge difference too. Okay. Let's make the bounciness of the ball higher. Let's bring down the translation. Let's bring down the translation a lot and see dampening. Let's see what happens. See what that does. All right, it's bouncing out a bit. That's good. But I want it to hit this bank. That's a key feature. So I'm gonna go back. Angle it more. See. And also, I'm going to put the cursor here so I know where the ball is going to be. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see how that works. It still doesn't really hit the bank too much. And what I'll also do is I'm going to split my view here and split my view. Oops. Split horizontally. And I want to have a camera focused on the hole here, and then I want another camera like looking down the hole, so we have just different views. As we simulate it, we can see it from different angles, you know, like maybe this one's top down view. Nah, it's not really doing anything for anybody. Let's have it be here so we can see the bounce. All right, good. Save. Now we have a little setup for seeing it better. And I'll turn off all of these trinkets. Okay, save. How are we feeling? Simulate, see what happens this time. Ooh, going to the right. Still not hitting the bank. Are you doing it? Let's try. Let's take the ball. Let's bring it over here. Because if I was gonna hit this, I'd put the ball here and get a better angle. Not here. So I'm gonna put it here, and then put my cursor there, and then go to home frame and put it here. Let's see what happens here. Oh snap. Oh, what the hell? That was bad. Some messed up. It hit the rock, but it like threw it somehow. Let's try to spread out this keyframe a bit. Trying to keep everything zoomed in so you can see while also maneuvering. There we go. Bounce! Come on! Oops. We always need to go back to frame one, otherwise the simulation won't bake right. Oh, it's bouncing the right direction. Shit. How come it's not? How come I can't scrub? Seem a little bit more left. Save. I'm gonna be saving like a monster so I don't crash. Ah, what the heck, man? Ugh. Bounced right over it. Maybe more friction? Maybe a little less bouncy. Did it again. All right. 1, 2. Let's bring these down. Maybe maybe it's just too bouncy. The ball. It's like bouncing right over the rock. All right. Well. And then I keep forgetting about the bank to the right. Mother. Okay. I think increasing subdivisions affects the way that simulations are run on it. Like if I were to make a plane with no geometry, like no subdivisions, like all these lines, it was just one plane, the friction and stuff would act way different than if it was like this with multiple vertices. So maybe having the subdivision up will help. Let's see. Nope, not at all. Oh, it's because I didn't put the thing back. Let's just do convex hull. See what happens. I think I messed it up. Whoa. Nope, it's still going right over the edge. Okay. That's not mattering at all. This is live. We're doing this live. There's no testing out. So let's do 0.2. Let's bring this back. That's what it was. Or was it 0.1s? Across the board, I think. Oh, maybe it was because the margin was like that? Okay. This is staying in bounds. Whoa, that was way too hard. All right, we might have to give up on the bank and just go for a hole-in-one. So like just get off the rock. Let's try and incorporate the bank on the right. Whoa. Oops. Oh, go in. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? You guys, look how close that was. Are you joking? Are you joking? If I move it just a little bit, it's gonna be not even that close ever again. 30. All right, I'm gonna move this an inch to the left. No, wait. It was over here, so I need it to be to the right a little bit, right? Shit. It was at negative 15.5. Okay, now we know for reference. Okay. Yikes! Let's see what happens. It hit that thing. I think we're in the corner. All right, so maybe a little bit more to the left. Damn it. Let's see if I can just get it back. Negative 15.5. I moved it too, so maybe I didn't get the location directions. Yeah. Damn it. All right. I'll get it back. It is just like real mini golf. It is like real mini golf. Go in. Oh, come on. All right. Now this is just silly. See what I'm saying? Just the slightest move. Oh, get in. That one's not quite as good. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, we have a good base. I'm not going to move the club. What I will do is move the ball. Just a smidge. Right there. Get in the hole. Get in. Get in. Yeah, we did it. Did it count? Did it go in? Yes! We did it! We got it in. Oh my god. Look at that. Save. We did it. Do I take the risk of extending out the animation to be a little bit longer? I don't know what to do. Oh, what do I do? What do I do, Rachel? Do I try to... Because the simulation only goes for 250 frames, and that's fine, but if I want to just go a little bit longer than that, like 350... Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. What we need to do is go to make our timeline 400 frames, and also we need to go to rigid body. In the scene settings and change this to cache 400 frames. All right. Please work again. Go in the hole! We did it. $400 frames cached. Bake all dynamics. We did it. Whoop whoop. So, okay, that's good. Now it's baked keyframes. Oh, actually, you know what? It's not. Do you know what? I should do that. I'm going to, instead of it's baked right now, what I'm going to do is bake it. I'm not making sense. Right now it's baked to the memory of the file, but I want to bake the animation to keyframes so it's solidified. I mean, the bake is fine, but I want to solidify it. So if I go to Object, Rigid Body, Bake to Keyframes, 1 to 400, excuse me. Now you'll see all of these keyframes are the ball rotating, translating. That's it. So we did it. Okay, let's see. What are you saying? It feels like the animation of the club slower. Yeah. If you don't move anything, it should be fine, right? You got the angles down. Yeah. That was from before I baked it. I extended it. Gotcha. Okay. So what happens when if I go to this and I put on subdivision? Yeah, it still looks like it goes in a hole. It clips a little bit, but we're gonna call it a win. Shuk-chow! And now I actually will do the thing I said I won't do and make this just a little much bigger. It's still clipping. Never mind. I'll keep it. I'll be honest. It clips a little bit. All right, it's fine. So if I go to, great. I'm all over the place right now. I still can't believe I got it. One cool thing you can do is if you click on your object and you go to your object data and you go to motion paths, you can see the curvature of the ball. If we can calculate the motion path, you'll see it right here. So on frame 42, 43, 44, let's see, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. You see the frame down here? 49, 50. It's the number as it goes up. So all of these are the frames of the ball traveling. That's why it took forever to come down here. So we don't need that though, just want to show you. So what we can do now is if I click on the ball, and if I go to frame 1 or 0 or whatever, and I select my cursor to the ball and I create a camera. Now if I go, I'll take one of these, go hit 0 to go into my camera view mode. I'm going to go to my camera settings and always pass through part 2 to 100 because I hate it being anything else. I'm going to go and join this as well. And I could bring it back and align it, but it makes no sense right now because what I want to do is go into object constraints and I want to copy the location of the ball. So now wherever the ball goes, the camera goes. See, you see the camera. But the problem is the camera is on the ball, inside the ball. So we want to offset it. And if we go to our home base frame of 30, we'll offset it here. And now wherever it goes, it's that distance away. Like this. And I'll also add another constraint called track 2, what that does, it will automatically point. It'll always point to the ball. So no matter where I move the camera, it's always pointing at the ball, even if I go underground. I'm going up, above, whoa, left, right. So now this will allow me, when I create this situation for the movie, I want to make a rig for the camera. Like I want to make a rig that's around the ball basically. And then I'll be able to rotate the camera around the, I'll rotate the camera around the ball. Like I'll make a ring, a circle, like this. I'll make a circle, mesh or curve, mesh circle or something like that, and parent the camera to this so I can rotate the camera around the ball, make a whole rig for it. But for now, we're just gonna keep it simple and just do it the old-fashioned way. But I want to make a rig for it for the camera. So now when I hit play, it goes down, boink. Oh, it does go underground. Why does it do that? There's a hill here that when I turn on the subdivision, goes like this. That's okay. It's not gonna ruin it, but I might tweak the keyframes a little bit. Is that cheating? I don't know. We'll see. I simulated a hole-in-one. Now I just have to tweak it a little bit. I don't think that's cheating. Just because I put the subdivision surface on here. When I turn it off, we simulated it like this. It's on top of the ground, but when we put on a subdivision, oh, I deleted it. It goes under the ground, which I guess I could do is, well, I don't want to change the ground, so I'm going to take the Z location in the timeline, happens a couple times, but it's mostly in that big dip right there. Doink. All right, so all I have to do is take these keyframes. This one right here looks like it could be up higher. Smoothing out this curvature. And then same, oop, doink, this one up. And then this one, oop, doink, that's up a bit. I don't want to raise anything higher than it's like, I don't want, like what I just did there, I don't want to do that because it'll, if this keyframe is true to it being on the ground, I don't want it to be floating in the air, so I don't want to do that. Okay, and then this is the big one. Doosh. Take all these. This one I'm going to even go so far as to use proportional editing. Can I select anything? Okay. Bring these up. It's affecting the camera too because the camera's locked to the ball, but that's okay. Even maybe I shouldn't do proportional editing. Maybe I should just go frame by frame because that's the way what I was just literally saying. So, and I will even go down here until I can't see it no more. Boink off the freaking, off the dome, off the rock. And then what I might tweak on this one is, well, this, but is the Y. Where's the X? What happens when I move this bunch of keyframes? Yeah, not the X, it's Y. It's probably both, actually. Whatever, it's fine. Just leave it. No biggie. It's gonna go clink. Sweet. So now if we play from the beginning, sorry for the delay. Goes down. Ooh, to the left, boink. Oh, slowly roll into the boink. It's not super exciting, but it was a hole-in-one, so I'll take it. So now if I go, what I can do is I'll take the camera and I'm even gonna start it from 20 so I don't have to do that drop down every time. I can take the camera location, I can take the influence and kind of bring it so the influence of there's two of them. There's one for the track 2 and there's one for the copy location. If I take tracking influence of one for the location is doing exactly that. It's 1-to-1. Whatever the location is doing for the ball, the camera is doing the same. But if we take the influence down, let's say go back to the beginning, by 5, that means by the end of the animation, the camera will only track the ball to middle way. See? So we don't want it obviously that little. If we have an influence of 0, it doesn't do anything. It's still tracking 2 because of this node. This constraint. If it didn't have any, the camera would stay stationary. But if we have the track 2 modifier, it will still track the ball. But if we turn it up to, you'll see literally, that's actually a good, that's a good method for a quick snap zoom, is to have a copy location influence of 0 go swoop all the way down the hole. That'd be a good idea. I gotta write that down. Snap zoom copy location 0-1 influence. But if we take the influence and put it to like 0.95, it'll do most of it, but it'll kind of smooth it a bit. It's not exactly like locked on, but it's still following it. And I can do the same thing, but it makes it a little bit more natural, a little bit. And we'll do the same thing for for track 2. We'll do the same thing for track 2. We'll do 0.98, just because that's a little bit more sensitive, I think. Play it, see what happens. It's a little bit more organic, I think, and that's bam! Sweet, awesome. So if I turn on, I keep saying so, if I turn on wireframe view, Oh, I froze. That's okay. I saved. No biggie. This one I did save a bunch. And I saved this one at 11:15, so we're good. I knew that was gonna happen. I was just hoping it wouldn't happen before I got the hole in one, so all good. Okay. Did I make the camera? Yep, I did the camera. And we didn't do this, so I'll do 0.95 for this one, 0.98 for that one. Save. See if it's the same. Oop. Oh, and I want to make this start at 20 so I don't have to deal with that drop down anymore. Sweet. Okay. I want to do I wanted to show the rotation of the ball, but I guess we could just kind of maybe light the scene. Well, what should we do now? Let's give the ball the quick golf ball material, and then we'll set it up for how I'm going to render it, and then we will be done, I think. And then I'll render it, and then we'll see how the final shot came out at the end of the video that I edit for this from the stream. Make sense? Okay. So, save. I'm going to collapse this. Click on this and solo it so it's the only object in my viewport. I'm going to make this window shader editor, and I'm going to go into cycles with my viewport denoise on, max samples of 100. 50 is fine. Okay. All right, so now I want to create a new material for the ball. We did a red one for the teaser trailer, the social edit for the first one, and then for this one I think we'll do Roland's color blue. We could do the yellow one, but I don't want to change the color of the club. So we'll just make it a Roland color. I'm not sure exactly what the X number is, but we'll also give it a subdivision surface. So it's a bit smoother. Now, a golf ball is pretty shiny. Probably about like that. But now to do the dimples, I'm not gonna do like the actual bump map that I used for the character, because that was unwrapped via Roland's retopology. So what I want to do for the texture is do it procedurally. So if I create a Voronoi texture and then a color ramp, and we plug this, if I just see what we're doing here, this is what we're working with. So it's all randomized, but what we want to do is use generated texture coordinates. so we don't have to deal with the seams that we have here. Now we want to take the randomness down to 0 because a golf ball's pattern is that of it's uniform. So, and then what we also want to do is bring in these. Do I want object or do I want generated? Not sure. Now if we take this and we go back to our bump map, we go back to our BSDF, we'll create a vector bump map input, connect the color to the height and the normal to the normal. Now we're getting our whole bumps, but right now it's too extreme. So I want to figure out which way it is to make it. Yeah, like that. There we go. So I want to make them so they're close together. I mean, it's not perfect, like there's gaps and stuff, but how did I do it? I thought I did it differently before. Where it was it a different texture? Was it a mug's grave? Or was it wasn't noise, wasn't point density. Must have been a for noise. Let's try mug's graves for now. No, it's definitely not this one. Absolutely not. Okay. Oh, maybe it was this way. No, I don't think so. Can't remember. That's not it. It's gotta be generated. I think that's too many holes for a golf ball. And they're slightly bigger. Oh, that's smaller. And we want the black to be pretty light. Just darker than this is 1. I'm going to call it 0.9. I'll call this one 0.89. Bring the strength way down. So that's kind of like a golf ball. It's not, like I said, it's not exact, and it's got it's got some missing, like the spaces of the holes isn't uniform like a real golf ball, but it's good enough. Maybe it's more like that. Yeah. Okay. Good enough. Now, what I'll do is go back to solid view mode, and I'll go back to my camera and see how it looks. Okay. Saving it, see how it looks in render view. The club was blue this whole time. I could have totally made the golf ball yellow. Oh, I still can because it's just a color. Also, the ground is just white because we didn't give that a material. So we can do that too. I'll make sure that's not the only thing we're seeing in this camera view, and I'll just do that for the ground plane. And for this one, I want to use the Uber mapping node from Polygon, because it does a really good job of hiding seams from text, from a seamless texture. I want to go back up here and unwrap this. Now we can go back to shading, create a new material called turf, and then I want to bring in an image texture that I created of I scattered the grass onto a little patch, and then I took a camera and I turned all the lights off and I made the world white so there was like no shadows, and I made basically like a texture of just the grass from the particles, but it's not seamless, as you'll see. So if I go into render view mode here, as I scale this, you'll see that it's not, it does a pretty good job actually, but you can still see the stripes here, here, here. It's pretty good. It's honestly pretty decent considering I didn't even try to tile it at all. But what we can do is go to append and then go to where your Blender folder is, and then I have one called Blender Blender polygon nodes, node tree, Uber mapping node. Now, when I go into shading window, I hit Shift A to add. If I go to group, you'll see it there. Oh, I did it twice. It was already imported. So if I click on this, and I'll delete this one, replace it. Now when I scale this up, it's the same thing. Still getting the same stripes. Stripe here, stripe here, stripe here, stripe here. But when we rotate the mosaic to like a random value, you'll see it's all gone. And you can even do mosaic noise. So now you definitely can't see any, maybe, yeah. And if you go into this mode, you can see it, grid view. This is what it's doing. It's taking all of these squares and rotating them at random values. And then I just like to crank it up just for peace of mind. And then you're still getting these hard edges. You can add noise to those edges so it's wavy and it breaks up the pattern even more. So now it takes our texture that's got these lines and it's not seamless and makes it even more seamless. So that's good. I think the size is pretty good. Roughness up to like 0.9. Where's the ball? Pretty good size. I'm not gonna add any texture or bump rather. I mean, I don't know if it really looked that good. I take a color ramp. And add a bump. Sorry, adding too much to it. I'm not going to do displacement, that would be nuts. I will for the movie, but and I will create this in a much better. I gotta figure out how I'm going to do that too. How to switch between particles, simulating the grass particles, and when to do just a flat plane, because the Pixar way would be to just render every blade, every shot, but I don't think I could do that with my 2070 RTX card. Unless I get a new one, but now it's still. Okay. Size looks pretty good for the grass. Maybe 25, make it a little small. Well, that's pretty, it's pretty big. I'm also gonna get rid of these. It adds something to the Fresnel of the distance, but not worth it right now. It's just a test render. All right. That actually looks much closer. Sweet, and I'm gonna change this color to be a little bit more pleasing. Fantastic. All right, I'm gonna go into wireframe's fine. Oh, solid view. Oh, and actually I'm gonna import worlds, because when I go to render this, I want it to be, I use the same one over and over again. It's this forest HDRI, Monk's Forest. Crank it up a bit, it's a little darker in here. So, all right. I mean, I can always rotate the world, but so that's front lighting, back lighting from the left, or I mean from the right, from the left, pretty good. True backlighting would be like 70. I mean, 30. But Jesus. We'll keep it like that for now. I don't know if I can play this. Let's try. It's gonna look choppy, but and let's go back here and do a max sample of like 10 frames. So choppy. Doink. All right, last thing we'll do before we get out of here is it looks so choppy. It looks kind of funny. It's like it's like choppy and like stop motion, kind of like like that's how you would animate a stop motion ball, kind of. That's actually kind of funny. I don't know why. For some reason, the color of this ball is giving me, obviously the green ground is bouncing it, but it's probably just because the lighting is from the back. Yeah, let's do that. This is our master shot, basically, so. I guess we'll just keep it like that, like a little backlighting. Not gonna worry about, and maybe I'll just bump up it more. So it's overall bright. I know you're not supposed to go past 1 on the HDRI, but I'm not giving any supplemental sun lamps or anything like that, so I'm not gonna. I'll just keep it like this. Okay. Last thing we'll do is give it a little depth of field, a little fancy, but and then we'll get out of here. So let's take our camera. We're gonna want to simulate some motion blur when we render this. We want these to be lower. Don't need caustics. Render. I'm not gonna render this right this second, but I'll render it tomorrow. 200 max. It's fine. No, I don't want to. I want to render the background with it. Performance, so much persist data. I want to bring this up. Medium high is good. Okay. Okay, now we'll go to the camera, add depth of field. Everything's blurry. We select our sphere. There we go. When we make the movie, there's this young guy, William Langren, who created an add-on for Blender using it's a new camera setup, new camera rig with more realistic bokeh and stuff. I don't know how real, I don't want to go photoreal with this movie, but I also want the camera techniques to be cool, so you know. So I might purchase it's a paid add-on, so obviously support other Blender artists. I might purchase it and use that for the movie, but we'll see. Cool. One more time. I don't know if so. This first shot looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. I don't remember how I got the texture on the ball to be like that on the red one, but this will do how it is. So yeah, all right, I think we're done for the day. Thank you everybody for watching. We got the hole-in-one. We did it. We actually did it. I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to do it, but we did it. We simulated a hole-in-one using Blender physics, rigid body simulations. For the next video, for the next portion of these live streams, what I want to start focusing on is creating, I brought this up in a stream before, I want to start to create a new movie poster. I think I brought it up in the last one. So I'm going to open up Roland's model and get his, it's still not final, but I want to get it to a point where I can at least put him on the poster. I need to add the screws to his glasses and maybe fix his glasses a little bit. And then we're going to work on taking one of these scans and the golf club that we made and pick a scan and set up a shot with some trees in the background and blue sky. And we're going to make Roland's new movie poster. So that'll be very exciting. So thank you guys so much for joining, and I'll tune in next time. Everyone tune in next time. Thank you. Bye.